For decades, we've all heard the same thing, right? The key to being healthy is simple: calories in, calories out. But what if that's just wrong? What if the food we're eating has been deliberately designed to hack our brains and our bodies, making us sicker and a lot less happy? Well, today we are diving deep into the work of Dr. Robert Lustig to uncover the truth about sugar and why a calorie is absolutely not just a calorie. So let's just start with this really provocative statement from Dr. Lustig himself. His whole argument is that our minds, our health, even our happiness have been systematically hacked. So the big questions are how and by what exactly? Well, the answer starts with this fundamental confusion, this mix-up between what it actually means to feel good. So how does this hack actually work? It works by convincing all of us that pleasure and happiness are the same thing. But they're not even close. In fact, when you look at the neurology, they are worlds apart. And confusing the two, that is the first critical step towards losing control of your health. Okay, this slide just breaks it down perfectly. Take a look at the graph for pleasure on the left. See that sharp spike and then the crash? That's dopamine. It's super short-lived and it's all about taking. Think about the rush you get from a sugary snack. Now look at the happiness graph on the right. It's this gentle, sustained curve. That's serotonin. It lasts a long time, and it comes from giving. The real difference here is that dopamine gets you all revved up, driving this reward cycle that, well, it can lead straight to addiction. Serotonin, on the other hand, it kind of calms you down, promoting this sense of contentment. And this is where the hack gets really damaging. When you're constantly chasing that dopamine hit, let's say from sugar, your brain's receptors literally start to shut down. So you need more and more of it just to feel the same buzz. That's tolerance. But here's the real kicker. That massive flood of dopamine also causes your serotonin receptors to shut down. So the more you chase that fleeting pleasure, the less capable your brain becomes of actually feeling happy. It's a vicious cycle. So if our brains are being hacked, what's the weapon? It's not some crazy exotic chemical you've never heard of. No, it's hidden in about 73% of the items in our grocery stores, perfectly disguised as everyday food. And this right here, this brings us to the central myth of modern nutrition. We're told that glucose and fructose, the two molecules that make up sugar, are basically the same thing because, hey, they both have 4 calories per gram. But as you're about to see, what our bodies do with them, that's a very different story. This slide really gets to the heart of it. See glucose on the left? That's literally the energy of life. Every single cell in your body can use it for fuel. Fructose, its evil twin on the right, totally different animal. Your body has no use for it, and only one organ in your entire body can even deal with it, the liver. And this is the critical part. Your liver processes fructose in almost the exact same way it processes alcohol. And yeah, just like alcohol, there's a hard limit. A healthy adult liver can safely handle about 6 teaspoons. That's 25 grams of added sugar per day. That's about the same as 1 alcoholic drink. So what's the problem? Well, the average person is chugging down close to 100 grams a day. That's 4 times the safe limit every single day. And for kids, oh, it's so much worse. A child's liver can only handle about 12 grams a day. Now look at this chart. A typical school breakfast, we're talking cereal and orange juice, can pack 41 grams of sugar. That is more than 3 times their daily upper limit before they've even sat down for their first class. It's unbelievable. Now, this massive daily overdose of fructose doesn't just, vanish. It sets off this devastating chain reaction inside our bodies, even if we don't see the effects on the bathroom scale. Okay, so here's what happens. The liver gets completely overwhelmed with all this fructose, and it has no choice but to turn it into fat. This fat starts building up right there in the liver, which then causes the liver to stop listening to the hormone insulin. And that, right there, is called insulin resistance. It's the root cause of most of the metabolic diseases we see today. And this is exactly why you can't judge your health by your weight. It's this concept called TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. A person can look totally healthy, totally slim, but be suffering from severe metabolic problems because of all this dangerous fat that's accumulating inside their liver and around their organs. This chart really puts it all into perspective. Your body has a pretty big capacity for subcutaneous fat. That's the jiggly stuff right under your skin, about 10 kilograms of it. It can handle about 2 kilograms of that deep, visceral belly fat. But look at the liver. Just look at that tiny sliver. all it takes is 1/4 of a kilogram, just half a pound, of fat in your liver to trigger severe metabolic illness. And the consequences of those sky-high insulin levels are just catastrophic. See, the thing about insulin is that it's a growth factor. It doesn't just tell your body to store fat, it promotes the growth of muscle in your arteries, driving heart disease, and it promotes the growth of glands, which drives cancer. This isn't just about diabetes anymore. It's about our deadliest chronic diseases. All right, I know. That was all pretty scary stuff. But here's the good news, and it's the most important part of this whole story. You can escape the hack. It's not about painstakingly counting every calorie. It's about understanding the system and finally taking back control. So, what's the new rulebook? It's actually really simple. Just forget calories and remember these 3 things. Number 1, protect your liver. That means cutting way back on fructose and alcohol. Number 2, feed your gut. This is all about getting plenty of fiber to nourish all those good microbes down there. And number 3, support your brain with essential nutrients like omega-3s. That's it. If a food does those 3 things, it's good for you. And to fight the mental side of this hack, Dr. Lustig offers the 4 C's to naturally boost that happiness hormone, serotonin. First, connect with real people in the real world, not just online. Second, contribute. Give back to something. Find a purpose bigger than yourself. Third, cope with stress through things like good sleep, mindfulness, and exercise. And finally, cook. Preparing your own real food is the single best way to give your brain the building blocks it needs to be healthy and happy. Look, we've all been sold a story about food that serves big industry, not our health. But the science is crystal clear. We've been hacked by a system that deliberately confuses pleasure with happiness and poison with food. The only question left is, now that you know how the hack works, what's the first change you're going to make?